Good evening, CMST 320. My name is Brendon Favre, and this is my discussion for Chapter 6. I'll go into jump into question 1. Based on our text, how do person-focused and task-focused leaders contribute to the development and maintenance of constructive relationships in organizations? Why do most leaders maintain a perfect balance of task and person dimensions at the workplace? All right, so for the first part of question 1, a person's ability to lead depends on his or her ability to develop and maintain constructive relationships. A relationship is an ongoing connection made with another person through interpersonal communications. That's pulled out of section 6.1 out of the book. This is broken down into two types of leaders. Person-focused leaders and task-focused leaders. A person-focused leader is someone who understands the importance and value of getting to know people on a personal level. For this type of leader, the person takes priority over work. And a task-focused leader is someone who believes that work takes priority over the person. So how we can identify these two types of people in the workplace, a person-focused leader is going to be the person that's going to know about your personal life. They're going to make small talk with you. They're not just going to jump into business right away when discussing something. They're going to beat around the bush, in my opinion, beat around the bush a little bit. They're going to want to know about your family. They're probably going to know, your wife's name, your kids' names. They're going to know these details about your personal life because it's important for them to do that. Versus where a task-focused person is they might ask about those things. How are you doing? How's your personal life? How are your kids? How's the wife? Those types of things. But they're not really going to care. They might not make eye contact or show a whole lot of interest when they're talking to you or show nonverbal communication that they're interested in what you're actually saying. They're going to be more focused on do you have issues going on in your life that are going to affect your work? That's more of what they're getting at when they're asking these questions. Obviously, if you're having a hard time at home or if you're having another kid on the way or got young kids, you might be tired some mornings. You might not be as productive at work as you normally would be. And these are things that a task-related manager is going to look for. He's going to be more interested to know and why you're having a drop in performance. Everything is going to be more work-related. For the second part of question 1, why do most leaders maintain a perfect balance of task and person dimensions at the workplace? So it's important. It is important to find a balance because of the power difference that exists between managers and employees. The relationship usually begins with task focus. Effective managers quickly learn that in order to cultivate nurturing and trusting relationships, they must learn to balance the relationship so that it is equally task-focused and person-focused. Now, I feel that they start out with why most relationships begin as task-focused because, new managers and new employees, they're both going to be kind of feeling each other out. I think it was last week in one of the discussions we had done is, a lot of times, or it might have been mentioned in class, that a lot of the times when a new employee goes into a company, they're just going to learn. They're going to be listening. They're going to be watching. They're going to see how other employees engage with each other, how they engage with management. Are they joking? Is it laid back? Is it more conservative? Who can I joke around with? Who's the person not to joke around with? Everybody's just kind of feeling themselves out, to find out where that balance is going to be or how they're going to get along with each other. Why I think it's effective to find the balance between a task-focused and a person-focused leader is, employees want to know that you care about them. They want to know that they mean something to the organization. They want to be more than just a number or a body. They don't want to, they want to have the feeling that they can't just be replaced. If they were to keel over and die tomorrow, that we don't just have, the company doesn't have somebody lined up to replace them right away. They want to feel like they're an asset and not just a body filling a slot. So that's why that is important. Employees want to feel like they're needed in an organization. That's going to make them work harder. They're going to feel more valued. And then to find the balance with the task is we can't just spend our entire job just making small talk with everybody. We got a job to get done. We're getting paid to do that job, so we need to make sure that we're doing that job. So those are the two biggest differences I found with those two, and why we need to have the balance with that. Jumping into question 2, assess the reasons why successful managers have loyal and trusting employees who go above and beyond the call of duty for their managers. Use the text to support your answers. So I found with this one, a lot of these two questions kind of go hand in hand with each other. For the first part of this question, upward communication, which is found in section 6.1 of the book, is communication that flows from employees to managers. Managers who are receptive to their employees' upward communication have employees who are more productive, motivated, satisfied with their work, and likely to adapt to change and to perceive their manager to be more open and approachable. So with that, everybody wants to be able to approach their manager, and this is something that goes in both sides. Is as managers, we need to be perceptive of our employees and what they see, because they're directly on the floor. They're handling the products. They're on the front lines the entire time, so they know what's going on. And they might have better ways of improving things that we don't see as managers. As managers, a lot of the time, we're not going to be down there on the front lines doing the hard labor-intensive work. So we might be kind of out of touch, even if we started in that position before things change. And so it's good for us as managers to be open to change and perceptive of that. And that's where that upward communication comes from, is listening to our employees. And that can even be criticism, it's constructive criticism for a reason. If we just get defensive and hostile when somebody criticizes the way we're doing something, it's not going to be very productive. So we need to be able to take that constructive criticism and apply it to our job. Successful managers understand that work gets done through relationships. Managers who cultivate high quality and trusting relationships with their employees have satisfied and committed employees who see to it that the manager and employees succeed together. These employees comply with their managers' requests and directions and remain loyal to them. Many of them go above and beyond the call of duty for their managers. Okay, that is found in section 6.3 of the book. And why this is important is because at the end of the day, we are a team. Everybody's a team and everybody succeeds. And especially as a manager, you don't just get to pass the buck on to the guys below you. If somebody in your team fails, then you fail as a leader. I think that's a lot of managers fail to grasp that. They want to accept all the successes and none of the blame. But in reality, we have to understand that we accept the blame and the successes of our team or our employees. One thing I had in my command in the military, people would tell me all the time is that your soldiers are a direct reflection of their leader. So if you've got jacked up soldiers that are disrespectful, their uniforms are all screwed up, and they're just constantly disrespectful, that's probably because their leader doesn't enforce any standards to them. The more disciplined soldiers that you find that take pride in their appearance, they take pride in their job and that kind of stuff, it's usually something that's instilled from their leader, or their supervisor has given them that sense of pride and showed them that this is a standard that we strive to meet. And again, as I feel that's going to be the leader that's down there working with their employees or their soldiers or whatever the situation might be. They're going to be getting their hands dirty. They're going to be on the front lines with them, and they're going to be doing as much as they can to understand where their soldiers are coming from, and not just, the old crusty guy that's, back in my day, we walked 20 miles in the snow, uphill both ways. That's kind of died out as advancements with everything. We need to be rolling with the times and seeing how things have changed since maybe we were in that position. All right, next is the effective leaders manage from the middle of the workplace relationship continuum. These managers understand that by taking care of their employees within reason, they will ensure that the employees are taking care of them. Managing from the middle of the continuum requires downward communication, or the communication that flows from managers to employees. An important part of how managers relate to those who they supervise is how they delegate duties and responsibilities. And that can be found in section 6.3. Now, this is important because as managers, we can bite off more than we can chew sometimes. Or if we don't have a lot of trust, or we're new, we're trying to make a name for ourselves, we don't want to delegate some tasks we might feel too important, and we don't want screwed up or something like that we're not delegating to our employees. And that's the wrong way to do it. As managers, we need to make sure that we're delegating tasks out to our employees and, seeing who can handle the workload, who can't, getting a feel for our team and those kinds of things. Now, what they're talking about with this, the middle of the workplace relationship continuum, that's finding that balance between the task focus and the person focused leadership, is finding that middle ground to where you're able to do both. And again, the downward communication, that's going to be delegating these duties down to your other employees, making sure that they're as informed as you are. There's none of this that's above my pay grade or anything like that. The more, if you're explaining to your employees of why we're doing something, then they're going to have much more of an understanding. It's not just because I said so. If we're providing reason behind the madness, people are a lot more accepting of doing it instead of getting upset or whatever they might be. And that's all I got for the 2 questions for this week. Thank you for taking the time to watch my video. Have a good evening. Thank you and goodbye.